Hi everybody, Bobby Ogilvy, project manager and professional coach. So today's question, how do I get more energy? Well, this might seem obvious to some of you guys, but I know too that lots of business managers and leaders can sometimes struggle with this, or I should say particularly struggle in terms of fitting these into their day, even if they know what the answer is, fitting these practices in. But the base of these three pillars here would be you need sleep, you need exercise, and you need nutrition. You need good nutrition. So let's start with the sleep part first. You want enough sleep. Best case scenario, you get 8.5, or you get at least 8 hours of sleep per night. Really, as long as you're in the 6 to 8 range, you can function. But probably if you're a bit low one night, you might need to make sure you get a full load the next night. I should say too a bit about sleep. Some of you may know a bit about sleep cycles, REM cycles, right? And those go in about 90-minute blocks. And so just from a grogginess standpoint, if you wake up in the midst of one of those blocks, you're going to be a bit groggier, right? So if you can, try to sleep in 90-minute blocks. Your body will naturally, tell you when it wants to wake up. I try to have at least one day per week when your alarm doesn't wake you, when you just basically can sleep as much as you need to sleep. And that's not always possible, but which is simply to say that you do have a sleep debt. So if you're deprived for a few nights, if you can help, take off that debt by sleeping more, future, in one night or a few nights, that's great. That's good for you, right? Let's go on to the next pillar. Exercise. This is the biggest thing. Developing a routine and a ritual on exercise. So important. Particularly if you think of, a leader's job is being in the right emotional, mental state so they can connect to others and that they can sync energy, they can focus their mental energy on the things they need to. It's so important that they're able to exercise to get that energy up. I just want to talk a bit about some of the long-term effects of exercise for people that are aging, right? So we know that muscles, different kinds of muscle strength training, different kinds of weight training, they are actually quite good. So if you think of your bones and your muscles are very connected, you actually call it your musculoskeletal system, right? And so it makes sense that training your muscles actually helps protect your bones. People that do weight training actually are less at risk for osteoporosis, right? That's good. That's one age marker that you can work with, right? If you're doing a strength training. There's other evidence that shows that the more you can do cardio training, the better in terms of what that's helping do is get more oxygen into your blood and more oxygen into your brain, right? So again, think of like all these different nutritional and physical and neurochemical stuff. A lot of these actually are coming down to making our brain function better, right? So if we can get more oxygen to our brain, we think better, we think more clearly, there's a ton of good effects of it, right? Our mood is better. All of our executive functioning is basically better if we have more oxygen, right? There's still emerging research on that, but I think what it's actually starting to show now is that interval training, things which will boost what's called your max VO2, your max volume of oxygen, are actually best in terms of getting more blood to your brain. There's definitely some evidence showing that let's call it typical cardio stuff like running works. And I know for a lot of professionals that don't want to get big into fitness or aren't trying to do anything complicated, they might be used to like a habit routine like that, of like, yep, I run on the treadmill for 45 minutes a day and that's my thing. Sure, that's not bad. In my personal view, it's not robust enough, and there's lots of other things you could do which are more protective to your health and are thinking more long-term about your performance and where you want to be if you have particular goals. But, just clocking that cardio time is good because, again, it's helping your brain think better. And the last piece is nutritional. And it's not that the way I view this is that it's not that every meal needs to be amazing, but you will quickly know. I know one bad habit around this is that if you're a leader sometimes, if you're busy with work, with business, it can be easy to eat out, right? And that will quickly wear on you. In that sense, develop strong rituals while you are at home. So even if you are away from your home for 12 hours a day or whatever, when you are home, and normally I would say that's your breakfast meal, try to make that as healthy and as, nutritionally kind of ritualized and consistent as possible, right? My go-to breakfast meal would be steel cut oatmeal and Greek yogurt. But whatever your little healthy breakfast habit is, get into it. Because if you know the other two meals are at the most risk for not being healthy, well, make sure you make that morning as healthy as you can, right? Or it could be just the opposite, right? Could be that maybe you're going to be able to be home for dinner, but you have to be at the office very early, right? Anyway, these are all things which are helping work with your energy levels. So if you can start to stack these things together, you're eating better, you're exercising consistently, and I would push you towards a good range of training, about cardio and muscle, and you're getting enough sleep. These are all things which are helping protect your body and protect your mind so that you can lead the way you want to lead. So that's how you get your energy levels up. Obvious, but sometimes we need to hear these lessons again. All right, I'm Bobby Ogilvy, project manager and professional coach.